Well, hello and welcome to I Love Gay today. And we are here with a recurring guest and friend, Robin Gray from the UK. How are you?
All the way from the UK. I'm very good, Matt. How are you?
Fantastic. No, it's great to have you back here. And when I say the UK, I do believe you're still in Birmingham, right?
I'm still in Birmingham in the Midlands. Yeah.
Oh, I was there a few years ago, as you remember, and
Yep.
had a great time and found everybody like they spoiled me rotten when I was there.
Much better than London or Manchester, but don't tell anyone I said that.
I love it. But Robert, you're with Gaming Magazine, and we've spoken before here on our show. But at the beginning, you guys had kind of launched this Gaming Awards, and it's moved around to different networks and so forth. But you've got a lot going on. It's the fifth annual, and tell us a little bit about what's happening.
Yeah, absolutely. As you say, Matt, it's the fifth annual Gaming Awards. We announced them, I'll say yesterday, but I actually mean Tuesday, depending when this interview comes out.
Yeah.
But we announced them, and we're celebrating our fifth year with the exciting news that we're launching this year, and we're actually broadcasting on World of Wonder's WoW Presents Plus app, which is a huge opportunity for us and a huge sort of step forward for the awards that have always previously aired in a kind of YouTube slash Twitch combination.
Yeah.
And this is a real kind of mainstreaming of what we do. And I'm really excited about it.
Yeah. With World of Wonder, I know I've seen them, and so I mean we've all seen them on with RuPaul's Drag Race and so forth. But in general, I know they're strong with streaming. Will this help you to
Mhm.
perhaps get the show out there and onto more and more big screens, as well as our small?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, YouTube and Twitch is kind of it's synonymous with your computer or it's synonymous with mobile phones or tablets. And it is theoretically possible to be able to watch like YouTube and Twitch on big screens in the lounge, but it's not the easiest or the first thing you think of.
Yeah.
And I think as well, it's size of screen, but also the audience themselves, because I'm a gamer, I run Gaming Magazine, but I will be the first to admit that I still don't kind of get too deep into the Twitch slash YouTube watching phenomenon. I like my games, I play my games, that's it, thank you very much. But there is a subset of gamers that goes kind of like deep into the world of sort of live streaming content production, etc., and watching those shows, but it's a subset.
Yeah.
And I think what we're looking to be able to reach through this kind of partnership now with World of Wonder is the massive swathe of LGBTQ people and beyond
Yeah.
who watch World of Wonder, who have access to that platform, who are gamers, maybe play a bit of casual Animal Crossing on a Nintendo Switch, or maybe just play a bit of Scrabble on their phone. But they don't get too deep into the YouTube and Twitch. And I think that for me is, as you rightly say, it's the casual gamer, it's the people that can sit on the sofa, it's that sort of thing. So for me, this move now into a network
Yeah.
really does start to broaden our horizons. And I'm super excited and very grateful to World of Wonder for the opportunity as well. As you say, they are, I'm going to annoy a lot of people when I say this, probably the leading LGBTQ TV network out there.
Yeah.
Um, and they are well known for Drag Race, but they're also well known for a lot of other wonderful documentaries and fantastic series that are broadcast not only on their app, but of course all the other partners that they have. And I think trying to be in the middle of all of that
Yeah.
is a really exciting opportunity. And then when that then plays out in July, we will have a premiere event simultaneously taking place in LA. That's going to be co-hosted by World of Wonder as well. So there's going to be a very celeb kind of feel to this as well.
Yeah. No, and I'll get in trouble too when I talk about the fact that, with this network, it's interesting because they had the advantage where, starting out with RuPaul's Drag Race and then being able to kind of create a network on top of that. But for most streaming apps across the board in any niche market whatsoever, they'll start the platform and they'll try to make sure the platform is in as many places as possible, but they often lack having that really strong piece of content, the one piece of content, the one film or series that everyone needs to go and see, because
Yeah.
that's what pushes these streaming networks up to that next level. And I always fear that without that, the problem is that at the end of the day, they're typically competing just with content you can find on YouTube or TikTok.
Mhm.
And I think you got to do better than that in order to be able to really take it to that
and
next level.
and again, I love all of our other fellow LGBTQ TV networks out there because we've produced other TV shows that are currently sitting on some of those networks, and we love you and props to you. But absolutely, having that kind of platform that is available, and the show content that is available, and of course we know them for Drag Race, but actually their back catalogue of sort of library shows is phenomenal.
Yeah, yeah,
Going back actually earlier than Drag Race even,
yeah.
because they were involved obviously back in the day with the RuPaul show back before, way before all of that sort of like racing began. It was RuPaul sat on a sofa. But I think it's, for me, it just being part of that world, filming at their studio, it really for me is going to be a real sort of wow moment, to give the pun of wow, of sort of dropping into that space.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you can only go up from here. I mean, last year you had what I saw from your website, 1.4 million people had watched
1.4
last year's
million people,
awards.
and that was absolutely, yeah, and that was a kind of real piecing together of, we did a very virtual one last year. Each year we never quite have landed on a perfect formula, and we're always keen to experiment. And year one was it was under COVID conditions, so that was fully virtual and was five of us stood in opposite corners of a room. Year two was a kind of hybrid event that we filmed live in London, and although a live broadcasted show is probably the epitome of what everyone's after, it's the one that causes you to have so many sleepless nights because it's a live show. Um, Three was in New York. That was a pre-record, which we then broadcast, but had people in the room. And then last year's one was completely virtual. But the beauty of that was we did the recording for it a few months in advance. So we had so much time to prep, and really treat it as a TV show as opposed to we're pointing a camera at an event kind of thing.
Yeah.
So we had a lot more creative control. We had a lot more ability to kind of chop it up and make sure we were getting the clips that we needed. Um, and that's why this one this year is going to be a very similar production, but with the added bolt on of that kind of in-person premiere moment in LA.
Well, I was also noticing from your website though that with the audience that you have, you're bringing on some good sponsors, including Gay Water, which was a company we had interviewed about a year ago. So you're in good company.
Absolutely. I mean, Gay Water, absolutely fantastic people. We love them to bits. It is their entire brand. Every time I look at the website, just makes me giggle in a kind of childish kind of way, and I love that. So kind of opening up more of the world to their kind of like queer puns and stuff, I think is an absolutely perfect opportunity. We also have My Nerd Life, who are a wonderful gaming apparel company that are sponsoring our Geek Entertainment of the Year award. And we're still onboarding some new sponsors that will be announced soon, and we still have some gaps available, of course, for other sponsors.
Yeah. I noticed that you had a new category that you with the LGBTQ plus content creator of the year. Is that specifically going to be in the world of gaming, or are you kind of with the way it sounds, it could be almost any content creator?
But by the nature of who we are, obviously, it is gaming related. But that is actually a rename because for the last few years we had it as streamer of the year.
Okay.
And streaming in 5 years ago was such a new frontier. But over time, the likes of YouTube, TikTok, and others, well, for as long as it lasts, Instagram Reels or whatever has kind of caught up.
Yeah.
So there's like live content production, live content streaming, I should say, but there's also content creation that's kind of asynchronous, so not live, but still
Yeah.
producing really fun, entertaining video content about gaming or the like. So we'd always, for the last couple of years, had a few YouTubers kind of circling around, sort of saying, "Can I do this? Can I enter that?" So we thought that this year we'd rename it and just be really super clear that it is kind of content creator of the year.
Yeah.
Of course, it's still sort of fitting into our sort of box of gaming. There are also two new categories as well, because have always had our industry diversity award, which is a way of celebrating companies who have contributed positively to the industry in favor of LGBTQ people. But again, over the 5 years, there's been a rise of non-profits. There's been a rise of local community groups that, because there was nowhere else to put them, sat under there. And then you kind of ended up with a weird situation where you had like NYC gamers going up against the AAA game studio. So we spun off this year a new award, which is the Community Impact Award, which is very much going to be the community groups, and the industry can still exist as the industry. And the other new award we added is our LGBTQ Voice Actor of the Year award as well. And voice acting is something, obviously, it's been happening since the year dot, but queer representation in voice acting, people are getting to know the voice actors as well, thanks to the likes of some of these conventions, thanks to sort of more of this kind of content creation influencer kind of role that voice actors are starting to take on as well. So whereas it used to be kind of almost an invisible job, voice actors now are kind of becoming more and more central. And as such, there's been a kind of large swathe of them coming out recently. So we want to make sure that we're kind of celebrating that part of the industry too.
Nice. And I know that all this it's a few months away, but it's going to come up on, especially for you guys, much quicker. It's going to be right around the corner. But
exactly. This is when the starting gun has been fired, and it's now basically 5 months of me running around like a headless chicken. But no, the nominations are open. So 10 out of the 13 categories are available with public nomination submissions.
Yeah.
So people can go to gamingawards.com, gaming with a Y, so GAYMING awards.com, and submit their preferences.
Yeah, and it'll be out there July 8th of this year. So
Tuesday, July 8th, we'll be broadcasting on World of Wonder, Time TBC, and then there'll be the kind of the partner VIP premiere event in LA as well.
Excellent. Well, I look forward to seeing all this come together and being a part of it. So and
absolutely.
Most important, just thank you so much for being here with our audience and sharing a little bit of your story there with us.
Always a pleasure, Matt. Thank you.
Thanks again. Take care.
And it feels good, so good.